People think about their insurance on two occasions. The day they're buying it, they want to know how much am I paying, and they want to keep it as low as possible. And the day they have a claim, all they care about then is, am I covered for this? This is Rest Insured. My name is Paige Tofigi. I am the CEO of ArcLight Insurance Agency. I've been an insurance agent for the past 20 years. It's been my experience that many clients don't have the requisite skills or knowledge of how to compare their insurance policies. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So here's how to review your policy effectively. You want to make sure that you understand everything that's listed on the policy. Usually on a quote that you receive, the limits of coverage will be listed there. Sometimes quote proposals are not as comprehensive as a full policy documents, but you want to make sure that you understand everything that's listed as far as coverage limits. So as an example, your limits of coverage for property is very important to consider. On a typical homeowner's policy or on a typical commercial property policy for a landlord, let's say, the most important consideration is to make sure that the replacement cost estimate is accurate to properly account for replacement of your property in case of a total loss. If a property is, heaven forbid, completely destroyed by fire, let's say, the replacement value on an insurance policy accounts for a couple of things. It accounts for demolition and debris removal, architectural plans, material, and paying a contractor to rebuild the house the way that it used to be, with addition of new laws and building code upgrades, right, that may have come into law over the past few years or few decades from the time that that house may have originally been built. So that is the way that insurance companies evaluate a property to make sure that in case of a total loss of that property, the limit will be enough to cover all of those things. You also want to look for the deductible amount and any exclusions that might be listed. Think of insurance as, for the exchange of premium dollars, you're transferring your risk to the insurance company, right? So the more risk you transfer to the insurance company, the more premium you'll have to pay. When your deductible is really high, that's less risk that the insurance company is taking, because let's say your deductible is $2,500 or even $5,000 on a homeowner's policy. That means the majority of claims that might otherwise be filed are probably not going to be filed with the insurance company, because if your deductible is $2,500 or more, if you have a $3,000 loss or even a $4,000 loss, is it worth filing an insurance claim when your deductible is so high? Because the coverage might be so low, but that'll bring your insurance prices up for the next few years because you had a claim on your record. The insurance company knows that, and so therefore the premium is a little bit less. Now, if your deductible on the other hand was $250, the premium would be higher, sometimes significantly higher, because the insurance company knows that for any little thing, a claim might be filed because your deductible is so low. So you also want to consider the deductible limits and see if the multiple quotes that you've received have the same deductible amount, because that changes the premium as well. Another consideration is exclusions. What does one policy have as an exclusion listed on there compared to another policy? Some companies have exclusions for various things that most people would consider something that they want coverage for. This is especially important for commercial policies for businesses. Over the years, we've had a lot of clients that have, let's say, a mechanic shop, right? And their garage keeper's policy, believe it or not, excluded them from test driving customer cars or hovering them while driving a customer's car off premise, right? So if they were moving customer cars around in their lot, that would be covered. If the car was parked in their garage and overnight was vandalized or somebody broke in or fire happened, that would be covered. But if they fixed the customer's car and wanted to take it for a test drive to make sure that the repair was done properly and they got into an accident, that would not be covered. But this is also something that might be worth having a conversation with your agent with. We want to make sure beyond anything else that the customer understands exactly what that policy covers, and more importantly, if there are any exclusions that the policy does not cover. This is a conversation that we have with our customers, and it's a collaboration of sorts. So before you decide, don't ever make a decision on insurance based on the price alone. That should be a consideration, but not the leading consideration. You want to make sure that if you're ever in a position of experiencing a loss, how would you feel in that moment? If you have a home, if you have a property, if you are a renter, if you rent an apartment or a house, what's important to you on that day? Does it matter to you that your insurance was, $50 less each month? Does it matter that your insurance was $500 less in a given year, one policy versus another? In those moments, no one cares about those things. All they care about is making sure that they're properly covered and that the insurance company will indemnify them properly. Indemnification means bring you back to zero, right? The best thing you can do for yourself is to make sure you understand all the coverages and what the price of the premium is based on, so that you are 100% assured that if there's a claim, there's not going to be any surprises. If you still have questions or want someone to look over your existing policies and kind of just advise you of what you have or what you may not have, feel free to reach out to us at arclightinsurance.com. We're happy to do a free audit for you. That's one of the things that we're actually known for, where we'll look over your existing policy, regardless of what agency or what insurance company they're with, and give you our thoughts and advise you, hey, this is what you're covered for, this is what you don't have coverage for. Or if you just have some questions or want a quote for a new policy, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to help. Hope to see you soon.